I used to believe love could be rekindled if you simply refused to give up. I told myself that marriages go through seasons, that boredom wasn't betrayal, that distance didn't mean indifference. But I was wrong. Some silences aren't pauses, they're endings pretending to be breaks. My husband, Daniel, and I had been married for 9 years. We weren't perfect, but for a long time we were steady. He was the kind of man who fixed what was broken: leaky faucets, dead car batteries, bad moods. I used to admire that about him. Then, somewhere along the way, that steadiness began to feel like stillness, and stillness started to feel like suffocation. When I met Aaron, I didn't plan for anything. He was a client at the marketing firm where I worked. Sharp, confident, always saying things Daniel never did. He noticed the smallest details. "You changed your hair," he'd say. Or, "You look tired, are you sleeping enough?" Daniel never asked. I mistook attention for affection. That's where everything started to slide. At first, it was coffee after meetings, then late-night calls, then weekends when Daniel thought I was working overtime. I convinced myself it wasn't wrong because it wasn't physical, yet. But emotional affairs have their own gravity. You tell yourself you're in control until you realize you've already crossed the line. One night, after another quiet dinner with Daniel where we barely spoke, I caught myself staring at the man across the table and feeling nothing. The spark was gone, and I blamed him for not noticing it had died. That night, I texted Aaron and told him I couldn't keep living halfway. He replied, "Then don't." 2 weeks later, I packed my car. I told Daniel I needed a break to find myself. He didn't argue. He just nodded, his jaw tight, eyes unreadable. He said, "Do what you need to do. No begging, no fight, just calm acceptance." I took that as indifference. I didn't realize it was strength. Aaron lived 4 hours away. He helped me move into a small apartment near his city. For a while, it felt like freedom. Morning coffee with laughter, dinners full of conversation, passion that felt alive again. I thought I had traded emptiness for excitement, but infatuation burns bright and fast. Within months, the cracks started showing. Aaron wasn't patient like Daniel. He was intense, controlling, always suspicious. He'd ask who I was texting, why I still wore my wedding ring, why Daniel still called about paperwork. I started missing the quiet I used to resent. It turns out, peace looks boring until you lose it. Meanwhile, Daniel didn't chase me. He didn't text or call. I expected guilt messages, maybe anger, but there was only silence. One day, I called him to ask if we could talk, hoping to sound mature. His voice was steady when he answered. "There's nothing left to talk about, Claire," he said. "I signed the divorce papers. You'll get them this week." My chest tightened. I thought I'd prepared myself for this, but hearing him so calm felt like a door slamming on a chapter I hadn't finished reading. I asked if we could meet at least once. He hesitated, then agreed. When I saw him at the cafe, I almost didn't recognize him. He looked lighter, rested. The sadness that used to sit behind his eyes was gone. He smiled politely, not warmly, not coldly, just detached. "I wanted to say I'm sorry," I told him. "You didn't deserve how I left," he nodded. "You're right. I didn't, but I also didn't deserve to be someone's backup plan." I tried to explain how lost I'd been, how things had felt dead between us. He just listened quietly, then said, "Claire, I kept trying to fix things. You just stopped noticing." That line shattered something in me. I had wanted fireworks again, but I'd forgotten that steady flames are what keep you warm. I'd mistaken quiet love for absence and chaos for passion. When he stood to leave, I panicked. "Daniel, is there any chance—" He shook his head gently. "You left, remember? You don't get to come back to what you burned." Then he smiled faintly. "But thank you for finally being honest." He walked out, and that was the last time I saw him. Aaron and I lasted 3 more months. Eventually, the guilt turned into resentment. He'd joke that I'd do to him what I did to Daniel. The irony didn't escape me. One morning, I woke up and realized I was repeating the same mistakes, just with a different man. So I left again. Only this time, there was no one waiting to fix what I broke. Now I live alone in a small apartment on the outskirts of the city. The divorce is final. Daniel sold our house, moved somewhere new. I heard through a mutual friend that he's seeing someone, a teacher, kind, patient. I'm happy for him. At least that's what I tell myself. Sometimes I drive past the old neighborhood. The lights in the windows look different now, softer somehow. I imagine him inside laughing at something, maybe cooking dinner with her. And I wonder if she appreciates the quiet man who fixes what he can and accepts what he can't. People say affairs are about lust, but they're really about escape. You think you're running toward something better, but mostly you're running from yourself. I thought freedom meant leaving, but sometimes freedom is the courage to stay and rebuild. I lost a good man because I chased a feeling that never lasts. And the cruelest part is, Daniel never raised his voice, never begged, never called me names. He just let me go, and in that silence, he finally taught me what respect really looks like. Now when I think of him, I don't feel anger or even regret, just a quiet ache for the version of me who didn't understand that love isn't fireworks. It's the warmth that stays long after the fire fades. And sometimes the loudest heartbreak doesn't come from being left. It comes from realizing the person you left stopped waiting.